Are now recording live. It's always that awkward moment at the start when everyone's trying to set up their live stream and no one
It
knows
totally is. I'm trying to actually share it right now.
okay.
Sure.
Boom. Share now. Boom.
Okay, just shared.
Bree, welcome to the Building Bellingham Pivot Series. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. And looks like I'm on a green screen. It looks like you are at the greenhouse.
I
Right.
am. I'm at the store. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So this series, and I know that you've been watching a little bit, is all about what are we doing to take baby steps forward, big steps forward, everything forward, right? What is that? How do we
Yeah.
stay grounded in our business while continuing to be positive? And I mean, you're an entrepreneur, at heart. And tell me a little bit more about what has your experience been like from January to now?
January is a big, it feels like a lifetime ago, honestly. January does to me. Um, and really, we're a pretty young business in terms of greenhouses. And, changing ownership and all that, January, I was planning for the year, actually in January, I was buying next year's holiday. I was buying 2020 holiday and planning for what I felt like was going to be a fantastic, strong economic year. Consumer confidence was at an all-time high. I felt like it would continue for at least a year. Um, and really, there was nothing to me in January specifically on the radar that gave me any concern that my business would be what it is today. Um, the moment it hit me that things were going to probably change, I was on my way down to Tacoma to watch my daughter play in a volleyball tournament. It was February 29th, actually, Saturday. And I was aware of things before that, but that was actually probably the first day that I felt like, oh my gosh, this is going to impact us. This is going to impact the store. And how is that going to impact us? And so that following Monday, March 2nd, we immediately started a new cleaning routine at the store. Just kind of built awareness, but I still don't think that we had the timeline to truly prepare for, what we ended up encountering, in general.
Yeah, no one really knew what to expect. And, you probably were one of the early adapters, the people that saw, okay, this is going to impact us probably pretty heavily, especially being in retail. Um, and so much of your business is, people, the experience of being, when I went in for the first time, which is crazy, like since you guys have bought it, that's the first time I've ever been in there.
Yeah.
And walking through there, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This has been hiding up in here my whole life. And obviously there's so many more people that know about it than me. And my opinion is not that important. But when I walked in there, I was just like, so much of this experience is being here. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I built the business on, was the belief of the brick and mortar, the belief that people will want to continue to shop for that experience, right? It's an emotional experience. You want to have that face-to-face interaction. And that's all, I don't think we'll ever actually have, I don't think we'll go back to where we were for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's hard just trying to reinvent yourself, reinvent your brand in a cautious way, I guess. I've been trying to do it pretty slowly, not trying to overreact, not trying to just immediately jump to something, but rather try to just thoughtfully and as carefully curated as I can, try to reinvent our brand that we have and still have that personal touch, still have that shopping experience, just now in a dramatically different way.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about what that big pivot has been like for you. I know it kind of floored everybody. How have you shifted your business?
It's crazy to think, even just 4 weeks ago, what it was then and what it is today. I ended up laying off we have 18 employees and I laid all majority of them off. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I tried to react pretty quickly in the terms of getting the people that I knew that worked for me that were not financially stable and they would need, help, and trying to get them immediately on unemployment before the system was kind of just overwhelmed. And so I tried to react pretty early on with that. Majority of them were, March 15th, 16th. And, left today, it's just my husband and I, which prior to now, my husband is in real estate, and that wasn't really an area, he did real estate. I'd help him, and sometimes he could help me with the store, but it wasn't like we do it today. Today we work together every day. It's working on both businesses, both real estate and the store. So it's crazy to think of the way we operated just 4 weeks ago in comparison, or 6 weeks ago really now. But it's just the two of us, and we have, as you can see, a lot of inventory. And
it's all still for sale, and
it's all still for sale. Yeah,
we can pick out items from the video. People can pick out items from the video that they'd like.
Yeah, and probably the most challenging piece is we're first and foremost a brick and mortar. We're not e-commerce store. It would be silly for us to try to compete with like an Amazon or even your Williams Sonoma or Crate and Barrel that has a huge just platform to build their e-commerce. And so trying to get our e-commerce site up has been incredibly challenging. We had a site obviously active, but just trying to get and capture all the items we have in the store. And we're about 85% there right now.
That's awesome. And it sounds like this has been that has been a someday maybe list item for you, where so much of your business is in-person retail, brick and mortar. And now you're like, better get cracking on that online website there, the online store.
Yeah.
Commerce. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And it sounded like when I talked to Eric too, and for those of you that are watching that know Eric's awesome. And he's also in real estate with John L. Scott. You guys are both licensed there. But that partnership in your business, how huge has that been to have a partner in life, but also a partner in business like Eric as a support piece?
It's crazy. It's honestly, you would think that we worked together, every day before this, and we did, but just not in the same sense. Now we're literally driving the van. We're doing non-contact deliveries locally, and we're going as far down as Woodinville, Snohomish County, and it's crazy. We both have frustrations. We both, have, we get mad, we get frustrated. Nothing, he likes to have things carefully planned out. He likes to see, okay, here's the game plan. This is how we're going to execute it. And then we can measure ourselves against that. And there's no way to measure really right now what's going on. And there's no way to measure how to really anticipate the next change. We can try, but, ask anybody out there right now what day, retail in general can reopen, and you're going to get probably 5 different answers. Nobody really has that answer. And so working together has been good in the sense that usually we're both not, we kind of allow each other to give and take. One day he'll have a, off day, and I'll be the one pumping him up and lifting him up. And maybe the next day it's me, and I'm, wanting to, get frustrated, and he's the one lifting me up. So we found a way really just to kind of balance each other. I'm not sure what'll happen if we both have a bad day at the same time. Hopefully that doesn't happen soon, because
keep them alternating bad days.
Totally, we absolutely alternate. Yeah. So one day, and it's worked good in the sense that to me is the biggest blessing that's come from all of this. Actually, is just the ability to be able to work closer with him one-on-one and really put our two brains together to figure out how we are going to navigate this and come out, better on the other side.
Absolutely. And you are the pairing of the real estate business and your business through the greenhouse is such a smart pairing. It's this whole all-encompassing idea of or concept of home. And right now everybody's at home. How important is home to you and to Eric, especially during these times?
Oh, it's so important. And it's incredible. Just, the biggest challenge I think for most businesses, for sure for his and I, is marketing. It's the toughest part is trying to get your message out to everybody, get your brand out there, and to discuss that. But we absolutely have these two business concepts that can live together, live in, synchrony, that we don't take advantage of enough. creating that warm environment. You know, I always say, and I still don't have a name for it. You know, we do home staging for his listings complimentary. We just got done with a 10 episode series on HGTV where we staged every home. And that's been one thing that I've probably had the most requests for that has kind of evolved in the last, you know, few weeks is more people are saying, how can you help me bring my home kind of to life and give it, you know, just more personality, and doing more just design consultations, whether that is, you know, virtually or through, you know, just making appointments for after when the stay at home is lifted. But, you know, we can bring something that's special that nobody else has. And it's just trying to get that message to the customer, though, is probably the most challenging piece.
Yeah. And how are you doing that? Because I know I actually saw the first episode of the show, which is, you know, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit more about that story. I love the story, and it's so, you know, like you said, in synchrony with what you do from a real estate perspective, but it's just the all-encompassing home concept, right? What has that experience been like for you?
Well, it is funny because we actually had, you know, we had done that same concept a couple times for what we do on the show. So Eric and I had prior to even meeting the girls. Let's see, it was probably last August. There was a group of women in the store, which is not uncommon. We see, you know, there's always a lot of women in here, but they were just a little. I definitely could tell they were different. They were buying things that I would use for staging, just things that are different that my normal, you know, everyday customer wouldn't buy. And it ended up being, they said they were on a TV show. Now I just heard this through my sales associates. It's like, sure, they're on a TV show. You know, didn't think much of it until a week later, Lindsay gives me a call and said, she called my cell phone and said, hey, it's Lindsay Lamb. I was in your store shopping. I'd love to talk to you more about, you know, an opportunity to go on our HGTV show with us. So gave her a call back, set up a meeting, and it all went so fast. I mean, that was end of August. And by, you know, mid-September, we were actively working together. And honestly, it's been a partnership that has been started out as business, but definitely came into a strong friendship. They're great individuals, super strong, just family oriented, awesome, you know, people down in Snohomish County. So it was an incredible experience. One of my favorite pieces was probably doing, each show had like a different theme. So they'd say, okay, Bree, here's a house. You know, we kind of had some, you know, just kind of home decor themes like, who's going to buy this, right? So it's kind of a similar concept that you would even use when you list a home. So for example, the first episode was a little condo. So it's like, who's going to buy this condo in Linwood? You know, it's close to kind of the tech industry. It's probably going to be a first-time home buyer. It's going to be male or female. Let's just, you know, gear it a little bit towards female and do a boho style, you know, something that was modern and updated, but, you know, still somebody it's kind of their first home purchase in their, you know, late 20s, you know, early 30s. And believe it or not, that is who bought it. And the way we style it too, you know, the items I put in there were appropriate for a first-time home buyer in terms of price point. So they ended up buying the table and chair set and the bar stool set that I put in there. And that's really what sets us apart from other, you know, I hate to even use the word home staging because everything that you see is brand new. It's kind of an extension of our showroom and everything's for sale. So it was just a cool experience. Every home we did was a different style. We reused some of our pieces a couple times, but for the most part, what you saw was, you know, totally individually curated homes that, again, we tried to just design in terms of who's going to buy,
Target graphic, yeah.
all that.
Yeah. Well, so, and just for people that are watching that would also probably want to see more on this show, where can they find the show? And then also, what's the concept of the show? I know that you're staging with stuff from Greenhouse. Yeah.
So the concept it's called Unsellable Houses. You can watch it HGTV on demand. If you don't have cable, you can watch it through the HTV Go app if you download that. It's also available to purchase on Amazon for $20. And it'll have, for $20, it'll have all 10 episodes plus the pilot. And the concept is really just taking houses that did not sell for whatever reason during the incredibly hot housing market that we had in this greater Snohomish area. All of them are done in Snohomish County, but it's an interesting concept because most people think like an unsellable house doesn't exist, right? Like everything, housing has been incredible. But for whatever reason, these homes didn't sell. So it's going into the homeowner saying, hey, we feel this, and this is why it didn't sell. Then they invested their own money actually into the home to renovate it, do these renovations, and they're all attainable renovations too. 30 to 50,000 they invested depending on just what they felt like the ROI was there. And most people today could get a HELOC, that would allow them, to do similar renovations. And they invested their own money in and then split the profits in the end. And a great concept, really when you look at helping homeowners, a lot of these were the first time they were selling a house. Mm-hmm. And what wasn't touched on a lot in the episodes was just how much these girls did actually to help with these people who were struggling to sell their house, getting them out of something that, was really negative and a burden on them financially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How often do you see that with, homes that might be in good locations, but just they're not, it's not that they're not sellable or they're not worth buying, but they're just, for the first time home buyer, they need somebody to come along and create that vision versus, a lot of people don't have vision, right? And that's not a shot at everybody in the world, but most people don't have a vision of what this should look like or what it could be, right?
Well, and a lot of people too, they don't have the energy or the time or maybe even the financial resource, especially if they're a first-time home buyer, to come into this home that, maybe is potentially, really great, but needs new flooring, needs a new counter, needs to really be livable and comfortable, livable, warm, someplace that you feel you want to go home to, like, and that is how your home should feel. When you're done with your workday, you should want to be there. You should want to, there should be something special in it for you that you have that relationship there. And there was a couple houses that it's incredible what just that, and I'll say small because it is small in the grand scheme of buying a house that's, $400,000, a $30,000 update to make it truly worth, then $450 is a good investment.
Absolutely. Yeah. And doing that for people, because you have
exactly
experience.
Eric and I had actually done it a couple times prior to the show, just he and I individually, without really we did it on a completely different level on a smaller scale, but just, telling a homeowner, hey, go to Lowe's, go spend $200 on paint or new light fixtures, put that in, clean it, we'll come through and stage it, and this thing will sell this weekend, just taking that kind of approach for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Keeping it simple and very attainable. Yeah.
Very attainable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do just need that direction of even what light fixture should I get,
Keep all the lights the same lumens, right? Or same, brightness.
Exactly.
Same thing, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for somebody like you in retail, and there's all of the, the Amazons of the world, and those are maybe in the same space, but not really. And I think we can probably agree on that Amazon may have, this similar, not necessarily similar products because the quality of your products it's so high.
Yeah.
And someone like Amazon is always going to be direct to consumer e-commerce. How do you maintain, how important is that relationship with your customers, especially being in retail and especially with the quality of product that you have? How important is that, especially now, the relationship with your customers?
It is, it's so important. It was important before. And customer service to me, you could ask any of my team members, it doesn't matter what position they held, they would agree and know that that's the one thing I always upheld. They could make a small, just ringing error at the cash register. And sure, I would be like, okay, we can't make those errors. But if there was ever a customer service issue, that's when that's how you push my button, is not delivering, 140%, customer service, because that's where we win, right? That is what sets us apart from Amazon. That's what, we're going for, that, old school Nordstrom shopping experience where, the customer, it's so important, the relationship with them, and really how now it's more challenging than ever is how do you reach all of them?
Yep.
We have such a wide breadth of customers, and it's like, how do you reach all of them and still deliver that same level of customer service that we had before? And, we're finding it's as simple as just, a thank you and a smiley face at the end of every receipt that we're now doing these, same day delivery. We've had a few times now where customers have said this is, faster and better than Amazon Prime, as I'm, an order comes in on the website. I'm handing it, literally boxing it up, handing it to Eric, and Eric's going out and delivering it, and it's, a 1 to 2 hour, waiting period. And those are the good ones. I mean, some of them, it has taken us a day or two, to fulfill, but, for the most part, we're trying to work on just having that level of customer service. But it's hard because it's also just redefining that, and what does that look like, and what's achievable and sustainable to, continue doing.
Yeah. So in the future, what is like a silver lining that has come from this for you, that something that you're forced to do right now because that's just the situation that we're in right now. We have to make do, and Eric's now delivering, product. Like,
Yeah.
what are you learning from that as far as how to continue to operate a really high level retail business, but also like pivoting with these type of situations?
It's interesting because to me, it kind of simplifies everything. The cool part is now he and I have done every single aspect of this business, and we know how to run it. We know how to run it successfully. Is Eric going to always deliver, a couple pot holders, down the road to somebody? Probably not. That's probably not, a good use of his time or our time, but it does give us this ability to realize that customer service can still exist outside of the, personal brick and mortar shopping experience. Will we always offer same day delivery in Bellingham? Sure, why not? We have employees that still will need to be employed, and it's finding ways just to just reinvent. Again, it's just keep our name out there, keep our, customer service and our brand, out there. And I think it can absolutely be things that we can continue to do regardless of the scenario that we're in today.
Yeah, absolutely. For you, and again, people are not able to physically come in the store right now, but when people do, when people come into Greenhouse, what is the experience outside of just the amazing customer service? What is the experience that you are wanting people to have? What is your goal for people to have every time as a consistent experience?
I mean, every time I hope they come in, they see something different than the time they were in before. I hope that they get inspired. I hope that they feel warm and welcome, and not a pressure to buy, but maybe just the ability to browse and let go. Maybe it's somebody coming in that's just, completely stressed out and, overwhelmed, and just needs to just silently walk through, the store for, 20 minutes or so. They can do that. I mean, somebody could spend easily an hour walking through here and taking their time and just slowly, taking that mental break. I'm confident in our ability. We have a huge space. I'm confident in our ability to, remain social distancing, in the future. When they come into the store, I'm confident with our ability to be able to do by appointment only. If that's, something they choose. And I think we can really meet the needs of a wide, variety of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and BreAnne, one of the things that has been fascinating me lately is this whole concept of the environment that we create. Obviously, whether it's in person, whether it's online, I mean, there's all sorts of environments that we have the ability to create. How important is that to you? Like having that environment for yourself too, right? It's an environment for you.
Yeah, exactly. For myself and for my own sanity. It was funny as this, as we were watching this kind of unfold, and people ask me kind of what position am I going to take in this? And honestly, I think that that's one of the hardest pieces of this whole ordeal, is that it's completely out of our control, right? As business owners, but we can control the approach we take on it. And so if you look at my social media, everything has been really positive. I haven't actually mentioned the virus more than once.
You just did. You just did.
I did. That's
Got
now
you.
twice. I'm not going to say it again, but that's twice now. And I don't even think I've said it yet in this phone call or slide. But so that's really I thought, okay, what can I do? And that's really when I talked about in the beginning of just slowly reinventing ourselves and our brand. It's like, let's not just jump to conclusions. Let's not put out. There's so much information out there right now, and there's so much negativity with it. And it's just continuing to be this positive light. I can still post pictures of cute fluffy pillows. I can still post pictures of pots and vases and fun ways to set your table. My daughter and I did a Easter thing with Somebody Loves You, like trying to just like send out some love to somebody. We did free shipping with it and just trying to just really, as best as we could, immerse just positivity into the community. They have the information around them that they need. They don't need me speaking about it anymore. We addressed it once in regards to just our hours and the inevitable just closure and transition of how we would be here still for the community. And that was our one and only time of addressing it.
Yeah. Well, it's so important because, and I know you've probably learned this over the course of your entrepreneurial career. You just kind of have to keep stepping forward. There's no backwards. There's just forwards, and it's just the increment that you choose or are able to that day to move forward, right?
Yeah, exactly. And not every day are we going to emotionally feel like we can move forward either, and that's okay. But yeah, it's just the ability to constantly take at least a small baby step forward is what will keep us, okay on the other side.
Absolutely. Yeah. And for you, like, I think we can probably relate on this, and many other entrepreneurs that are watching this can relate to this. We always are pushing for more. Like, it's not necessarily like more money. It's like, how can we like grow this? We're all builders, right? In that sense. And we're all like, how can I help this, empower this person? How can I do this? How is this whole situation really allowed you to be, well, content and be in a state of peace and grounding personally, with your family, with Eric? Like, how has that affected you in that way?
This business has taken a ton of my mental space, more than I thought it was going to, honestly, when I purchased it. I mean, I knew it would take a lot. I didn't know the extent it would. So really this time,
Oh, come back. Come back. Come back. Let's see here. All right, just quick technical difficulty here. Bree disappeared here for a moment. She should be back shortly. Just bear with me here. Give me one moment. One moment here. Let's see. So while we are on a quick intermission, if anybody that's watching right now has any questions that they would like me to ask Bree, please drop them in the thread below here. So below the video, you can actually just drop a comment and I'll make sure to get those questions answered, or she can actually answer those after the fact. But yeah, no, so right now, this conversation about retail is so important because this is an opportunity really for, a company like Amazon to thrive, because people aren't able to leave their house. Yet there's people like Bree out there that are doing such a phenomenal job of maintaining that relationship with their clients. So for people out there that are running a retail business or running a restaurant or anything where people gather there or need to physically be there for the majority of the business, definitely take a lot of what she has to say to heart, because let's see here. She thinks she's back. Bree, you're back? Okay, Bree is back. Bree is back. One second here. You there?
yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yep.
Let's see if I can get back. Is there just no video?
There's just no video. Yeah, I think.
Oh wait. Give me 1 second. I think I got it.
No worries. No worries.
So one of the, this is a very old building,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently one of the breakers just tripped.
Yeah, no worries.
And yeah, let's see, where is video here? Da, da, da.
Oh, here you go. I got you.
Does that work?
I just asked you to start video there. Did you get that?
Yes, it says privacy camera. Hang on. Camera, Zoom.
There you go. There you are. You're back.
Am I back?
You're back.
Good. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. So yeah, I gave a little spiel on retail and why connecting with the customer right now, or the people that you are in business with, banding together as a community is so important right now. And but when we cut out, what was the last thing we said there?
Before it's funny. We tried to. I'm now on my phone, so hopefully this works.
Fine.
I honestly, I forget, where were we at? We were
Yeah.
at just talking about. I
Just being
think,
content at home. Yeah, it was more about like what peace and content have you found throughout all this?
and really, gosh, as much as I mean, I love my employees. I care about each of them personally, but I felt like that was taking a lot of my brain space that then I wasn't able to devote to my kids, devote to my husband, devote even to his business. So just being able to, for a short time, control this environment with just myself and him for employees has just allowed my, just to give him and, our home in general, just more attention. I have more just mental space for that.
Do you
It's
feel like,
been very positive.
good? That's great. I love hearing that. And do you feel like that is you're having more time right now, or creating more space and time for it?
I definitely don't have more time. We are working 7 days a week. It has definitely not been more time. I'll say that. It's been hard. It's been hard just trying to balance that, but it's balancing in a different way. And it's balancing together. And I guess it's still just, even though there's not more time, there's definitely more mental space and energy, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. So even though there's not more physical time, there has been more time mentally just to try to engage with things.
Yeah. And have you felt even more connected with other retail businesses in the community during this time, even more than you had in the past?
For sure. There's still a huge opportunity there, though, I think, to try to connect more than what we've even been. I will say the first few weeks, even this week, and I'm hopeful to be able to kind of adjust it after this week, but it's been survival, right? Like, we're just trying to survive. And it's been difficult in that sense, because where I'd like to connect, and I have been able to connect, and try to just reach out to other business owners. Definitely not to the point that I think I'm capable of doing and what I think would be beneficial in doing. But I chat daily with a couple other good friends that are business owners, and just kind of help each other out, feel things, bounce ideas off of each other, and just try to continuously engage, just with them in the community.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more with that. It's just taking a little bit of time, even in our busy schedules, to reach out and say, just a text message or a video message saying, hey, hope you're doing well. Let me know if
For
there's
sure.
anything that can be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the customer or the person that doesn't know your business yet, there's a lot of people that do know your business, know you, and they're familiar with the brand and the quality of product. How does somebody find you? How does somebody maybe that's watching this or will watch this, how do they find you, and how do they best get the experience that you want to give them, but through kind of this needle that you're threading right now? How do they get that same experience?
It's starting out by going to our website, greenhousehome.com. If you call the store, if you email, you will get me. We have everything forwarding to my cell phone or to, my email. So I'm able to engage with them personally more than I ever have been able to before because of that, just because of that communication level. But they can go into the website, greenhousehome.com. On Instagram, we're Greenhouse Home also, and then Facebook. Either way, they, whatever avenue they choose to engage with us. And even if some people can't navigate the website, we have a customer base that, is older and that is still challenging to them. Call me, we can help you walk through it.
Yeah. So, and you're talking about consulting somebody over the phone based on what their wants and needs are.
Yeah.
Wow. That's some skill, but she drinks lots of coffee. You can tell.
Yes, I drink it too.
She's got superpowers.
I literally have had, and I've done it actually several times now. It's not, I'm over the phone consulting with them, trying to help them through a purchase. Trying to help them because I want them to feel good about their purchase and confident about what they're doing. And then, following up with, that custom, non-contact delivery to their porch. I don't think there's a better way.
Yep. Yeah. So for people that are watching, definitely go follow Greenhouse on Instagram,
Yep.
like their page and follow them on Facebook.
Yep.
If you have questions about furniture, which I am kind of a dud when it comes to furniture. So if I have any questions, I'm probably going to call Bree and just say, hey, I've got a silly question, or I've got, I want to buy something for the house. Can you step me through this? And for all of you that are watching, her and Eric are running the business just by themselves right now. So you're going to this is an amazing opportunity for you to have a conversation with somebody that's truly an expert on home. And so, yeah, definitely go follow, definitely reach out at any time, maybe not after 6 o'clock, right?
Yeah. You know what? I've answered the phone even at 9 o'clock and I try to be there, as often as we can. I actually helped a customer through a sofa purchase just recently. She had 3 kids. I have, a couple, and most of our conversations took place after 9,
Yeah.
just going back and forth.
Yeah. And what I'm hearing is adaptability. And it's so fascinating to me because we have this idea of intelligence. And, the one we've always talked about is IQ, right? Intelligence quotient. Then we have, there's this emotional intelligence, the emotional quotient section. And now there's this whole concept of adaptability as we're growing so fast. How important has adaptability been for you through all this?
Gosh, huge. As a business owner, even pre, the scenario that we're in today, adaptability is your survival tool, right? Your day-to-day tasks are always different. Your problems that you face every day will be different. You cannot predict anything, honestly. You can do your best, to budget and everything, but there will always be just components outside of your control that influence your business, whether you're in retail or real estate or, no matter what you're in. So the ability to adapt to your surroundings and adjust, it's so important. It's really the key to survival and the key to building a profitable and successful business.
Mm-hmm. For those that are maybe looking to start a retail business, for other entrepreneurs that are out there, how do you balance it all? How do you do it? What advice could you give to somebody? Is it hard work? Is it managing your inventory? Is it just continuing forward every day? What is it? What's the secret sauce?
The secret sauce, it's definitely hard work. And even if you think you know how hard it is, you don't actually know how hard it is. Communication. Talk to people around you, call me, ask ask other entrepreneurs, ask other people who have opened a business. Don't be afraid to ask questions and don't be afraid really to listen. If you're interested in opening a business, the biggest thing I can say is listen. Reach out and then listen to what people are having to say, because until you actually live through it and live through some scenarios, there's no way to really prepare yourself for some things that, you know, will inevitably happen until you actually live through it. And that's really where the adaptability comes in, and just your ability to take that scenario and see, you know, what you need to do to, you know, successfully navigate through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, Bree, thank you so much for joining me on the Building Bellingham Pivot Series. For those of you that enjoyed this episode, we are actually going to be, when we're able to not have to social distance, we're going to be doing an actual full-length podcast. So if you want to hear more about Bree's story, where she started, how she got here, how this all came to be, where we're having this conversation right now, stay tuned for that, and we'll obviously be letting people know. And then obviously follow you on, you know, your personal Instagram, your personal Facebook.
Yeah.
Reach out to Bree if you have questions about retail, about business, entrepreneurship. You've been awesome. You and Eric have been really great to bounce ideas off of for me as an entrepreneur too. So I very much appreciate you being there to you know, to support other people in the community. So follow Greenhouse, buy some products. I mean, it sounds like you have some on clearance too right now.
Oh, I got clearance. If you want summer furniture, we have so much summer furniture. Just give me a call. I will find the item you need and you're looking for.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Bree, thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to end the live in 3, 2, 1. Live stream is gone.
Gone.